And I'm 17 now, and it started when I was around 3 or 4 with not wanting to go to school.
And when you talk about having anxiety, Verity, what happens to you?
Well, my anxiety, because I was diagnosed with generalised anxiety disorder.
That's 2 of us then.
Yeah, so I literally worry about everything. So I don't necessarily get the physical symptoms, but I do sometimes. But it's more the worrying thoughts of like, what if this happens? What if that happens? Which makes it just difficult to do things.
And do you find that you're worrying pretty much all the time? There's always what I call the fear is there quite a lot of the time.
There's always something to worry about, yeah. And you get kind of like an agitated feeling sometimes where you just kind of feel you can't quite sit still when you're on edge.
And, I mean, you're 17 now, so you've had this for a long time. When you first realised that there was something the matter, what did you do?
Well, we didn't really realise until it got really bad when I was doing my GCSEs at school, which really triggered it off. But I went to my GP then, who took me to the young mental health team,
right.
Where I went for 2 years to do counselling. But that didn't work that well, so we went back and got some medication.
So why didn't the counselling work, do you think?
I think it's very good for some people, but I think mine was just, I worried about things too much and I just found it too hard to turn off the thoughts, because you have to turn the negative thoughts into positive thoughts, which I found quite difficult when they're just so big.
What do you find yourself worrying about?
All sorts of things, like sometimes when I felt nervous, I'd feel sick, and then I'd worry, what if I'm going to be sick at school? What would happen? What if I can't get home from school if I'm feeling unwell? Just everything.
And how did your parents react when you told them about it? It must be difficult for them to see their daughter going through that kind of thing.
And they have known that I was a nervous person for a long time, but they were really, really supportive, especially my mum.
And you're on medication now. Are you much better?
Yeah, I am. I've been on it for almost 1.5 years now, although some days are worse than others, where you think to yourself, oh no, I'm going backwards, and then you might have a couple of days or a week like it, and then it seems to be all right again.
I mean, Stan Collymore over the weekend was talking about having absolutely no energy, not being able to sleep properly, and not being able to lift his head off the pillow. Can you recognise some of those symptoms?
Yeah, when I was particularly nervous, I couldn't sleep at night because just thoughts of what I was worrying about happening the next day just kept me up, and I couldn't sleep at all.
It's almost like you want to find the off switch on your brain, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's just not there.
And, I mean, this might be difficult to talk about, but have you ever thought that perhaps you'd be better off not being around anymore?
Yeah, I have done. I did think that a lot before I really got the medication to help, because I know a lot of people talk about therapy helping more, but for me, it was actually the medication that helped me more.
And when you were in your darkest hour, Verity, when you were thinking about that, were you just solely thinking about yourself, or were you thinking about the people around you as well?
You know, you don't really, because you just think, you just literally can't cope anymore. So you really, it's just odd feeling, because you don't think about anything else. You just think, I can't cope anymore, I can't deal with this, I don't care what I have to do, I just got to do it.
And I'm assuming, because you're talking to me now, that you never did try to do anything like that, it was just thoughts?
Yeah, it was just mainly thoughts with me.
And how did that make you feel? Because, you know, that's a difficult thing in itself, isn't it?
It was really scary, especially when I had one of the medications. It actually made it slightly worse. And it was just really terrifying to be thinking, I'm like, because at the time I was 16, so I'm 16 and I'm thinking these thoughts.
And what are your friends like around you? Are they okay about it?
My school friends knew about it, but I'm not really in contact with them anymore. But I've joined a group called Young Minds, where I campaign for young minds and write new policies for mental health and try to improve services.
And do you find that helps you, the fact that you're doing something positive?
Definitely, because I feel like I'm using my experiences to help people, which is why I wanted to ring today, if there's anyone out there who feels the same.
And tell us about Young Minds. What sort of group is it?
It's a group for predominantly 16 to 25-year-olds, where we write new policies and laws surrounding mental health and how we can improve the services and how we can improve, say, the therapy, how the therapy worked for you, how it didn't work for you. And we get basically a say in all of the kind of big questions that the government are talking about regarding mental health.
And what do you want to do when you leave school, Verity? I mean, you've probably left by now, have you?
Yeah, I've left school because I didn't really enjoy the exams made me worse.
Oh, yeah, I bet. So what are you thinking about doing with the future?
I'm currently an apprentice, so hopefully I'm going to get some qualifications there, which I can go on and do accounting and do that, or possibly maybe something to do with counselling.
Verity, I think you'll be all right. Thank you so much for being so brave and giving us a ring.
Thank you.
I hope I got it this time.